The NBA has always been one of the most competitive sports in history. It's intense, fast-paced, and you never know which way things are going to go. But many times during these outings, some of the best players can lose their cool. Here are some of the top moments where NBA players lost their cool on the court. Tar Heel and Hoya. Michael Jordan is no stranger to no-holds-barred finishes. Shaking Charles Oakley and demolishing Patrick Ewing was just another day at the office. What his airness said more than 20 years later is entirely something else. I told him, Georgetown guys don't block shots, they take charges, he recounted in 2013. I dunked it on him so hard it was unbelievable. Every time I see him, that's the first thing I remind him of. Jordan's above-the-rim stuff was harsh enough by itself, but what happened in the decades to come makes this play the best kind of unforgivable. Rain Man erases Alton Lister. Props to Chris Mullin for getting out of Sean Kemp's way. He wanted no part of this monster mash, nor did Alton Lister for that matter. Before Kemp turned him into a corpse, he definitely triple-guessed his decision to not evacuate the lane post-haste. Maybe he felt an obligation to hang in there, knowing the Golden State Warriors considered him a Rain Man antidote. Kemp really milked this moment. He didn't just cradle the ball and catch a body. He spirit-fingered pointed at the fallen Lister while completing a full parallel squat. Remember, don't skip leg day. LaFonso Ellis's unreal catch block. Catch blocks are not unprecedented, but this may be the most disrespectful shot contest in league history. The ease with which LaFonso Ellis swallows a full-throttle highlight is insulting. His no-big-deal reaction is just as mean. Rumor has it this play earned bonus points because Ellis was nicknamed the Fonz. Scotty doesn't know who Patrick Ewing is. Scottie Pippen's one-handed yam over and through Patrick Ewing is cutthroat on its own. Pushing the 7-1 skyscraper while still airborne is shameless. Hovering over him after the fact like he's some anonymous 11th man verges on criminal to this day. That said, we're here for it. MJ climbs Mount Mutombo, 1997. Dikembe Mutombo swore MJ had never dunked on him. Do you want me to call Scotty, he said. Whether Mutombo was exaggerating doesn't matter. Jordan caught him with the boomstick a few months later and then stole his finger wag. Pilfering another player's trademark taunt is next level diabolical. Stevie Franchise lights up Troy Hudson. There's someone smoking off the dribble. There's using a real live feeling human as your own personal plaything. And then there's whatever the heck Steve Francis did to Troy Hudson. Count how many times Francis could have put Hudson out of his misery. You get 3 or 4, and maybe 5 if you include the beat Stevie Franchise takes to stop mid-evisceration and speak with the ref. Iverson steps over Lue. Allen Iverson's notorious step-over is more belligerent in memory than actuality. Tyronn Lue was legitimately in his way, and yet Iverson could have walked around him. Instead, he emphatically stepped over him as if he too wasn't 6'0 and slightly off frame. Perhaps this play isn't as iconic if it takes place in December rather than the NBA Finals. Whatever. Iverson gave us one of the most timeless meme templates in history. Old MJ destroys a youth. Imagine being a 25-year-old NBA player. You're on the Chicago Bulls, you're making 7 figures, half of your career should be in front of you. Life is good, you are charmed. And then, soon-to-be 39-year-old Michael Jordan, back in my days, your transition layup on the backboard. Tough break for 2001-2002 Ron Mercer. Jay Rich's off the boozer 3. Sophomore on rookie crime. Jason Richardson is lucky he splashed in this triple, because if you're going to jack up a showboaty off the heezy, off the boozer 3 inside 10 seconds to play while up 17 in a game that doesn't matter, you better make it. CP3 yams on D12. Chris Paul has a habit of slow roasting bigs off the dribble, but this is a different genre of sassy. He didn't pull up for a long 2. He didn't even try finessing a layup. He went for the kill and got it against an eventual 3-time Defensive Player of the Year who had almost a foot on him. Young CP3 showed no mercy, kind of like prime CP3 and also like present-day CP3, and definitely like tomorrow's CP3. Big Ben makes Shaq look little. What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? Ben Wallace wins. Shaq was 34 when Big Ben gobbled up this dunk attempt, but that makes it even worse. Wallace never took his hat off the ball. He brought Shaq to the ground with the force of his open palm. This wasn't a block, it was a full-on consumption. The two men got face-to-face as Big Ben asserted his dominance and completely lost it in the court. D-Wade ends Varejao, 2009. Before Dwayne Wade officially joined forces with LeBron James, he casually ended one of his favorite teammates. His decision to nonchalantly step over Anderson Varejao though, is an underrated middle finger moment and definitely one of the reasons LeBron heel-turned his way out of Miami in 2014. Blake christens Tim. Blake Griffin had every right to fly above Timofey Mozgov for a demonstrative slam, using Timo's face as an armrest and thunder smacking him into the Carmelo Anthony trade. That was a little excessive, showing just how wild the player got on the court. LeBron leapfrogs Lucas, 2012. Hopping over humans is the most blatant, unfeeling brand of disrespect. John Lucas III should still be livid with LeBron for clearing his 5'11 frame like a hurdle and then staring at him as if to say, doesn't this thing go any higher? In a sport where height is such a crucial aspect, no player would want something like this to happen to them. Fair to say that John Lucas was fuming after LeBron disrespected him like that. Blake ends Pau twice. Blake did little more than stare at Pau Gasol after posterizing him. But he immortally freeze-framed him twice. On his second throwdown, Griffin finished with such force that the 7-foot, 250-pound Gasol went flying across the floor, nearly detaching DeAndre Jordan's left leg from the rest of his body in the process. It is clear to say that this was more than him trying to play his game. He lost his cool on the court and almost severely damaged his opponent. Amari and Shane. Bowling over Shane Battier is not a heinous farce, nor is feigning an offer to help him up only to pull away. It is the act of doing both that gets Amari Stoudemire the nod. 9 pinning Battier to the ground should have been enough. It is not as if Stoudemire was protesting a whistle he deemed unjust. He didn't argue the call. He turned around airily in resigned agreement and then faked out Battier. To this day, I cannot decide whether I'm more impressed or confused by Stat's elementary school bluff. Crawford's nutmeg amid blowout. Jamal Crawford's hocus-pocus handles would have had him scattered throughout this exercise if he were not so darn well-mannered. Even here, the pageantry is in the tactic, not Crawford's reaction. He nutmegged Nando DeColo offhandedly without a hint of passion or pop. At the same time, Jeff Van Gundy's commentary of the possession is relatable. The Los Angeles Clippers were up on the San Antonio Spurs by 20 inside 30 seconds to play. Cruel intentions are implied when garbage time becomes theater. This is Crawford, however, unknowingly at his evilest, in a fun way. Kyrie brings Brandon Knight to his butt, 2013. Trying this hard in the Rising Stars Challenge breaks all sorts of unspoken rules. To Brandon Knight's credit, though, he exacted some iota of revenge on the next play, sticking an off-the-glass 3 over Kyrie Irving. DJ dunks Knight into the next life, 2013. Kudos to Knight for contesting the savagery, but he'd have never been better served fleeing the scene. DeAndre Jordan damn near erased him from existence. It also came close to ending Clippers head coach Vinny Del Negro, who needed to prevent Griffin from rushing the court and informing Knight that his Wikipedia page was about to undergo a bunch of inaccurate updates. Between Kyrie's Rising Star shenanigans and DeAndre's smackdown, 2013 was a rough year for Knight. Steph abuses the Clippers, 2015. Evading 4 defenders with controlled recklessness is whatever, particularly by Curry standards. Cherry-topping the spectacle with an impromptu, somehow effortless turnaround 3 is some dark magic. Spencer Hawes' man bun never quite looked the same after being windswept by Curry's water-wiggly escape tactics. Not even Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr could believe it. Granted, this was earlier in the Steph becomes Hogwarts headmaster transformation. Mark Jackson, his former coach, hadn't yet accused him of ruining the game. Still, more than 4 years later, Kerr's reaction still holds. No one who respects the defense in front of him attempts this shot. Curry's self-governing green light is profane. With this, we have come to the end of our list. Let us know in the comment section below which out of these moments were the coldest out of the list. As always, please make sure to leave a big thumbs up on the video and subscribe to our channel if you're looking for more awesome content in the world of sports and entertainment. That's all for now. We'll talk to you in the next one.